Everybody know I'm the best? In what category? In everything. Name one. We got the best rappers. We literally started rap. You might have started it, but we elevated the game. Public Enemy, Rakim, Run DMC. Tupac, Biggie, Nas. R&B then. Don't do that to yourself. Keith Sweat, Rick James, Bobby Brown. Boyz II Men, Drew Hill, Jodeci. Ooh, yeah. New Edition, Prince, Whitney Houston. Let me begin this. What you doing here? Because I deserve to be in the conversation. Okay, what you got? Usher, 50 Cent, Alicia Keys. Snoop Dogg, SWV, Escape. Outkast, Eminem, Missy Elliott, Soulja Boy. You! Michael Jackson!
Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com for these JT RZA shades. I think I just ordered a couple of more. So if you want them, you better go on over there to Uptop Beauty and check them out. These are like a book club favorite for some reason. Like y'all choose these above everything. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes, you'll can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's continue talking about where the hell is the book? Where's the book? Anyway, y'all know we talk about Michael Jackson. The odd situation between Jordy and Michael Jackson evolved so quickly. Evan couldn't seem to keep track of it. When June would telephone him to tell him about their Neverland visits, he found it difficult to believe that a world-famous entertainer would have that much time to spend with his ex-wife and their child. Also, June and Evan had been arguing about Evan's involvement in Jordy's life. June didn't feel that Evan was spending enough time with his son. Evan disagreed. However, he couldn't help but feel that he might be losing his place in Jordy's life to Michael. He didn't believe that Michael was doing anything wrong with Jordy. Rather, he simply felt the presence of another man, an influential male figure in his son's life, and he didn't like it. It didn't help matters that June would often make references to the fact that Jordy saw Michael more than he did his own father. That gets them pappies every time. When Evan polled his friends, they agreed that there was something inappropriate about Jordy sleeping in the same bed with Michael Jackson. One of his patients, Evan, was a dentist, suggested that just to be on the safe side, he should insist that such behavior stop. She was familiar with Michael's dermatologist, Arnold Klein, and at Evan's request, called the doctor to inquire about Michael. Klein told her that Michael was absolutely heterosexual, and according to him, there was no reason to be concerned about him and Jordy. He's the sweetest guy in the world, Arnold said, and I swear to God you would be making a mistake separating him and Jordy. He's completely innocent, like a kid himself. Still, despite Klein's reassurance, Evan Chandler's patient said that, at least in her opinion, an adult should not be sleeping in the same bed with a youngster unless he is a child's parent. And even then, such sleeping arrangements should be closely monitored. When we lived in Southeast for a short period, because I told you I'm an uptown girl, right? But my mother and my stepfather had separated for a minute, and me, my sister, and my mother moved over on the south side, close to Northeast, over there on 49th Street, close to Fletcher Johnson. Me and my sister had to share a room and a twin-size bed. She was like 5 or 6. I'm telling you, we had to share that bed. At 13 years old, 12 or 13, I did not want to share my bed with a goddamn 6-year-old. I didn't want to do it. So something's not right. On April 22nd, much to Evan's chagrin, Michael took June, Jordy, and Lily to Disney World in Florida for 3 days, utilizing Sony's company jet. When they returned to Los Angeles, Michael asked if he could stay at the house with June and her children. Again, Michael slept in the same bed with Jordy. About a week later, Michael bought Jordy a computer. The youngster was thrilled with the present. Evan was not happy about it. He had planned to buy his son the exact same computer, and Michael had beaten him to it. Ooh, That father over there is stewing, you hear me? Ooh, he is in the corner somewhere burning the skin off his hand, picking out his hair with some tweezers. Ooh, he cannot take it. I'm confused because ain't June married to a ninja already? Wasn't she already married? So you mad about Michael Jackson, but you ain't mad about the real step Peppy? Come on, something ain't right. On the day they would leave for Monaco, okay, because, you know, Michael, he do be tripping around. That's what he do. He trips and tours and trips. Evan Chandler came by the Swartz house to say goodbye to his son. Though he still had not met Michael Jackson, he had no choice but to trust that June knew what she was doing when she agreed to the trip. Disturbingly, though, Evan noticed that Jordy now seemed oddly cold towards him. Evan would later remember feeling that his son had changed, that he no longer seemed to care about his father. As Jordy climbed into the limousine with June and Lily, Evan stood at the curb and watched them chatter among themselves, and as he recalled it, felt left out of the proceedings. Did you feel left out when the real steppappy would take the kids on the trip? I'm lost, man. It's just weird, Evan. Later he would say, I felt then that maybe June should just divorce Dave since they were having problems and maybe hook up with Michael. After all, they were having a good time, even if I had some reservations about it. Maybe I was wrong, I reasoned. Maybe I was wrong. In Monaco, Michael was often photographed with June, Jordy, and Lily. In several pictures, he is seen holding Lily in his arms while walking next to June. Jordy, in a red shirt and large, oversized hat that clearly belonged to Michael, walked ahead of them. During the show, Michael sat next to Prince Albert with Jordy in his lap. At 13? Come on, bruh. The best feeling in the world, I remember, is sitting in my grandfather's lap as a little girl. But you better believe that shit stopped after a while. After June told Michael Jackson about the many emotional and argumentative conversations relating to him and Jordy, Michael felt that what had transpired was typical of the behavior of adults. See, grown-ups don't trust each other, and that's the real problem here, he told June. It's such a shame that this kind of thing happens, isn't it? I couldn't even imagine sitting in my dad's or my grandfather's lap at 13 years. I couldn't even imagine that. Evan understood that teenagers have all manner of relationships with non-family members, and that those with peers can sometimes have a greater influence on their values and behavior. However, was Michael a peer? Not really. Also, his influence on Jordy was troubling because there were so many unanswered questions about it. Why did Michael and Jordy have so many inside jokes between them, as if sharing their own language? Why were they always whispering to one another? Why would they speak softly to one another, and then as soon as they would hear one of Jordy's parents enter the room, clam up? Why was Jordy beginning to dress like Michael with black hats and mirrored sunglasses? Most importantly, why were they sleeping in the same room? Over the next few weeks, Evan continued to press Michael about the nature of his relationship with Jordy. So much so that Michael began to distance himself from Evan rather than have to undergo any further interrogation. Pause. Do we remember when Michael Jackson dropped Lil Paul Webster like a bad habit? You know, to this day, Webster is still in love with the Michael Jackson. I'm not saying that they had a romantic relationship, but you can't pay Webster to say nothing bad about the Michael Jackson or the Macaulay Culkin. But remember when the parents started saying, wait a minute, this is inappropriate, Michael. You done checked into a hotel with our son as father and son. That's weird, Michael. It's weird. And then who's the people at the front desk allowing this? You know goddamn well Michael Jackson and Webster ain't father and son. If this is true, let me put this out. If this is true, or if it's not true, but we're speaking on situations that evolve, like how this Michael Jackson Jordy situation evolved, there are so many people in the circle that allow for this behavior to happen. He cannot do this by himself. There have to be people around that turn their head. Michael Jackson has a history of running through niggas. That's what he do. And when he done with you, he done. He love you until he don't love you no more. He your friend until he ain't your friend no more. He your client until he ain't your client no more. I'm telling you, that nigga has no allegiance. None. Over the next few weeks, Evan continued to press Michael about the nature of his relationship with Jordy. So much so that Michael began to distance himself from Evan rather than have to undergo any further interrogation. Because who are you to question Michael Jackson? He the Michael Jackson. Michael seemed to not understand why Evan was confused about what was going on between him and Jordy. Hadn't he already explained that he was Jordy's true loyal friend? Didn't they have an agreement to forge ahead with Michael as an accepted part of the family? Again, as Michael had earlier told June, Evan either trusted him or he didn't. The problem was that Michael was unprepared for what might occur if Evan did not trust him. Would he abandon his friendship with Jordy because the boy's father did not trust him? No. When Michael was unhappy with the person was usually ousted from his world. Many important people that shown up in his life and then been banished from it over the years. Some of them, like John Branca, had considered themselves being longtime friends of Michael's, but such status did not save them from being terminated. If Michael could let go of John after more than 10 years, where then did Evan Chandler stand after just a few weeks? Michael stopped returning Evan's telephone calls when Evan became a problem in his life. If he couldn't have fired him or had someone else to do the job, he would have done it. However, Michael had seriously underestimated Evan. He wasn't an employee who could be easily dismissed. Rather, he was the father of the boy upon whom Michael had fixated for whatever reason. He wasn't about to allow Michael to cut him out of his life and out of his friendship with Jordy, especially since he wasn't sure he even trusted him. There was something not right about Michael's friendship with Jordy, he decided, and he was going to set it straight, if for no other reason than to prove to Michael Jackson that he couldn't get away with it. In June 1993, Jordy Chandler was scheduled to graduate from junior high school's 7th grade. For months, he had anticipated the students' party that would commemorate the milestone for them. Though Jordy had always been a popular student and had many friends, lately he seemed not to be in communication with many of them. I mean, if I was Evan's father, I would be concerned too. Yeah, I would be concerned too. Seen some friends. Okay, we all friends here. What's happening? Why did my friend just throw a chair at somebody else? Are they fucking? You don't throw chairs at people when you're friends. That's not right. Y'all throwing chairs at each other. Is y'all fucking? Prime example. Though Jordy had always been a popular student and had many friends, lately he seemed not to be in communication with many of them. He had become so antisocial since meeting Michael Jackson, his parents were concerned. However, the fact that he was still enthusiastic about going to the end of the year dance did suggest to Evan and June that their son was still a normal teenager. However, when Jordy walked into his mother's bedroom to announce that he had decided not to attend the school function and wanted instead to spend the evening with Michael Jackson, she was worried. Bitch, you should have been worried. You should have been worried. You say that you love